Hey students, welcome to Unit 3. In Unit 3, Part 1, we'll be talking about solving multi-step equations. At the end of Unit 2, Part 3 was about solving one-step and two-step equations. So this part will be all about multi-step equations. As you'll see for pretty much every type of example, there's two examples. I'll do one and then have you do the other. So the first one says to solve equations by combining like terms. So it says solve each equation, check the solution. So the first thing we're still going to do is box and rewrite the original first. So I have 13t minus 7 minus 10t equals 2. Now at this point I'm going to rearrange it so the like terms are next to each other. So I have 13t minus 10t minus 7 equals 2. 13t minus 10t is 3t, so I have 3t minus 7 equals 2. So again, I had to combine the like terms first. The t's went together. Now I have 3t minus 7, so I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So I'll get 3t equals 9, because minus 7 plus 7 is canceled out. And I'm going to divide both sides by 3, so I get t equals 3. Now it says to check your solution, so I need to plug in 3 everywhere I see t. So 13 times 3 is 39, minus 7 minus 10 times 3 is 30, equals 2. Okay. 39 minus 7 is 32, 32 minus 30 is 2, so I know I'm right there. Number 2, I'm going to let you guys do that. You're going to combine like terms on that left side before you solve. Scrolling down, the next section says solving equations using distributive properties. So if you look at the first one, I'm going to box and rewrite to begin with. I have negative 20, and then I have a minus sign, so I'm going to add in that ghostly 1 or whatever it's called to help me out. So I need to distribute first. So I have negative 20. Negative 1 times 4x is negative 4x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1 equals negative 15. Now I need to combine my terms, so I'm going to rearrange this a little bit and put the constants next to each other. So I have negative 4x. Negative 20 plus 1 is negative 19. And then I have subtraction on the left side when I do minus 19, so I'm going to add 19 to both sides. And that will give me negative 4x equals positive 4. And I can divide both sides by negative 4. And I get x equals negative 1. Alright, again, I'll let you guys do number 2 again on your own. Just ask me if you have any questions. Okay. Moving on to the last thing on the front page, says to combine like terms after distributing. So we did combine like terms, then we did distribution. Now this is going to involve both. So I'm going to let you guys do number 1 after you watch me do number 2. So I'm going to start by rewriting. I'm going to slide over here just in case I need more room. So I get 48 equals 15 plus 6 times 4 plus x minus 3x. I need to do the distribution first. Sorry about that. So I have 48 equals 15, and then I distribute, so I get plus 24 plus 6x minus 3. Now I need to combine my terms over on the right side, so I can add these constants together and get 39, and then I can subtract the x's and get 3x. I have a positive 39 over here with my 3x, so I need to subtract to get it over to the other side. 48 minus 39 is 9, so I get 9 equals 3x. These cancel out. Then I divide both sides by 3, so I get 3 equals x. Or you can write that x equals 3, either way. So that's number 2. I'll leave number 1 for you guys. Alright, flipping over to the back side, we're just going to kind of continue on with more examples. Now, for this top section, we're going to take a break from actually solving. We're going to look at checking possible solutions. So it says, tell whether the given value of the variable is a solution of the equation. Okay. So number 1, I'm going to leave for you guys. I'm going to do number 2 because it's a little bit trickier. Okay. So this is my equation, And then they're saying check and see if -5 works. So I'm going to start over here so I have some room. So I have -2, and then I'm doing 3. I need to replace the x with -5 plus 7 equals -3. Replace the x with -5 and then plus 8. So on the left side, I go to the parentheses. Within the parentheses, I need to multiply first. So 3 times -5 is -15 plus 7. On the right side, I go to the parentheses. Inside the parentheses, I multiply first. 3 times -5 is -10. On the left side, I'm still in the parentheses. -15 plus 7 is -8. On the right side in the parentheses, -10 plus 8 is -2. Now I can multiply. -2 times -8 is positive 16. -3 times -2 is positive 6. That is not a solution. In order to be a solution, I would have to line up with the same thing on both sides of the equal sign. Alright, so that's number 2. I'll leave number 1 for you guys. As you look at the next section, now we're actually solving equations with variables on both sides, and this can get pretty confusing. So I'm going to do number 1. Again, the first thing I'm going to do is box and rewrite. So I have 12x minus 28 equals -63 plus 7x. Now, I want to move the variables to one side and then the constants to the other. So I'm going to put the variables on the left side, which means I need to move this positive 7x. To move a positive 7x, I need to subtract 7x. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. So on the right side, they cancel. 12x minus 7x is 5x. So 5x minus 28 equals -63. Since I moved the x's to the left, the constants need to go to the right, which means I need to move this -28. So to undo that, I need to add 28 to both sides, because that'll make these cancel. So I'm left with 5x equals -63 plus 28. It's going to give me -35. And then my last step is to divide both sides by 5. So I get x equals -7. Again, a lot of work on these. Make sure you check all the steps. Number 2, I will leave for you guys. The next example is special solutions. And I'm actually going to go through both of these with you in case you don't remember what these special solutions are. So I'm going to box and rewrite first. So I have -6 times 4x plus 3 equals 6 times -4x minus 3. So I have to do distribution on both sides of the equation. So -6 times 4x is -24x. -6 times 3 is -18. On the right side, 6 times -4x is -24x. 6 times -3 is -18. So, if you look, I have the exact same thing on both sides. -24x minus 18, -24x minus 18. If you have the same thing on both sides, we say that our solution is all real numbers. What that means is that I could plug in any number for x, and it would work out as a solution. If you look at number 2, again, I'm going to start by boxing and rewriting. So I have -3, 8x plus 11, 6 times -4x minus 17. So again, I have to distribute on both sides. -3 times 8x is -24x. -3 times 11 is -33. Then on the right side, 6 times -4x is -24x. And 6 times -13 is going to be -78. Now, if you look, I don't have the same thing on both sides, so I need to go ahead and keep going. I want to move all the x's to one side, so I want to move them over to the left. To do that, I need to add 24x to both sides. But as you'll notice, on both sides, that's going to cancel out. So I'm left with -33 equals -78, which is not a true statement. So if I get to this point, I know that I have no solution. That means there's not anything I could plug in where this would actually work out. Guys, I know that was a lot. Make sure you fill in the questions that I didn't do, and then grade them when you come to class. If you need help, just let me know.